Good morning. Next session that is regarding the functionality concept. So as a continuation for the tacticity, this functionality concept. See here, functionality concept means here we are dealing with the reactive sites. Functionality concept means we will be dealing with the reactive sites or the reactive centers of a particular polymer molecule. Okay. For example, see, suppose I am writing this ethylene molecule CH2 double bond CH2. Okay. See, if this pi bond breaks, what happens? Two valencies will be freed. CH2 single bond CH2, then again one single bond. Okay. So here how many reactive sites are there? This is the first reactive site and this is the second reactive site, isn't it? These two portions, these 1 and 2 portions, again this can be added to another ethylene molecule. That means this particular molecule, it has got two reactive sites. Okay, so such reactive sites or reactive centers, we can call it as the functionality concept. So here the bonding sites, reactive sites or centers, or we can say it as bonding sites. Bonding sites. Okay, so here how many reactive sites are there? Two reactive sites are there. Similarly, if a molecule it is having a functional group OH or COOH group or an amino acid group or NH2 group, or sometimes it will be having a diol. Diol means two OH groups. Okay, so all these are the reactive centers or the active sites of that particular polymer molecule. So we can define this functionality concept as it is the number of bonding sites or the reactive sites present in a monomer molecule. Okay, that is that will be dealing with the monomer molecule. So the number of reactive sites or the bonding sites present in a monomer molecule, it is called as a functionality concept, and it is also very important. Okay, so you have to write this equation also. CH2 double bond CH2 polymerizes to like this, and two reactive sites will be there. Okay, so similarly, based on this functionality, this monomeric units, then they can be classified into three categories. Okay, this monomer units can be classified, or the molecule can be classified into three categories, and the first one, that is again the linear or the straight chain. Linear or the straight chain molecule. Then the second one, that is the branched chain polymer or the branched chain molecule. Branched chain polymer or the branched chain molecule. And the third one, that is the three-dimensional network. Three-dimensional network. So these are the three classifications based on the functionality concept. So for a linear or a straight chain molecule, first one we can see this linear or straight chain. Linear or straight chain polymer. Okay. Linear or straight chain polymer. See here, this is a bifunctional polymer. That means it will be having two reactive sites. It will be having two reactive sites. Two reactive sites, the term means it is bi, isn't it? So it is a bifunctional monomer. It is a bifunctional monomer. If that particular monomer it is having two reactive sites, it is called as a linear or a straight chain polymer. Okay. Then the second one, that is the branched chain polymer. Second one, branched chain polymer. See here, in the case of branched chain polymer, it will be having a trifunctional monomer. What do you mean by a trifunctional monomer? Trifunctional monomer means it will be having that means three. It will be having three reactive sites or three bonding sites. It will be having three reactive sites or three bonding sites. Say for example, it is a branched chain polymer. So again the structure, it will be like this. It will be having like this. See, these are all the side chains or the branches or side chains. This is also another side chain. So this is the backbone, isn't it? So this backbone, it is having how many reactive sites? 1, 2 and 3, isn't it? So these are the different reactive sites. So this is also a trifunctional monomer, and it will be having 3 reactive sites. Then the next one, that is the 3-dimensional network. 3-dimensional network. Three-dimensional network. See here in this case, it will be having polyfunctional groups, or the reactive sites will be more than 3. Polyfunctional groups will be present in such type of molecules, monomer molecules, and also they will be connecting together, or they will be reacting together to form a 3D network. They will be reacting together to form a 3D network, and also they are provided by very strong cross links. We had written one 3-dimensional network, isn't it? So cross-linked polymer. So here also they are joined by strong cross links, and these cross links, they are usually covalent bonds. Covalent bonds are present, and also these type of polymers will be very, very strong. Okay, since they are formed by very strong covalent bonds as a result of this cross links. Okay. So these are the 3 different types based on the functionality concept. The first one is the linear or straight chain having 2 reactive sites. Then the second one, that is the branched chain polymer having 3 reactive sites, which is a trifunctional monomer. And the third one, that is the 3-dimensional network having a polyfunctional. Polyfunctional means more than 3. More than 3. Okay. So next topic is we have to move on to the types of polymerization. Types of polymerization. So here you have to go in detail the 2 types of polymerization. The first one, that is the addition polymerization, and the second one, that is the condensation polymerization reaction. Addition polymerization and condensation polymerization. Okay, let us go through one by one. Addition polymerization, we had seen some of the examples also. So let us go through this addition polymerization. See, if my video has got some speed, you please watch the video once again. Okay, in video there is no sense in repeating. Okay, so addition polymerization, the first one. See here, this addition polymerization, these type of reactions will be taking place by chain reactions. Okay, this type of reactions will be happening by chain reactions, and also chain reactions, as you know, it will be following 3 different steps, isn't it? You have studied chain reactions with 3 different steps. That is, the first step is the initiation, then the second one, that is propagation, second one propagation, and the third one, that is the termination. Initiation, propagation and termination. So addition polymerization will be taking place by chain reactions, again, which is carried out by these 3 steps: initiation, propagation and termination. Okay, and also let us move on to some of the characteristics of this addition polymerization. Okay, so the first point is that this addition polymerization will be taking place in unsaturated monomers. Will be taking place in unsaturated monomers. Say for example, we had seen the polymerization of ethylene or ethene, isn't it? That is CH2 double bond CH2 n times. It will be polymerizing to CH2 single bond CH2 single bond n times. Always you should put the brackets like this, and the bracket will be passing through the center of this bond. Okay, so this is an example for addition polymerization of ethylene. So this ethylene polymerization will be happening in the case of unsaturated monomer. See here, it is having a double bond, isn't it? So it is an unsaturated monomer. So that is the first one, unsaturated monomers, and it should be having 1 or more double bonds. It can be a triple bond or a double bond. It should be having 1 or more double bonds. Okay, then the second one, the reaction will be taking place in the presence of peroxides. the reaction will be taking place in the presence of peroxides, okay, or other catalyst. The reaction will be taking place in the presence of peroxides or other catalyst. Then the third one, see the result of the polymerization, result of this addition polymerization will be a polymer which is having an exact number or exact multiple of the monomer units. Exact multiple of monomer units. The product formed as a result of polymerization will be an exact multiple of the monomer units. Suppose we are taking 100 ethylene molecules, the product will be having 100 molecules joined together. Okay, so that will be an exact multiple of the monomer units. There is no loss in the monomer units. All the monomer units will be polymerized to form that polyethylene. That is the third point. Then the fourth point is that these addition polymerization products, they are usually linear thermoplastic materials. Linear thermoplastic materials. So these 2 points are regarding the products. Okay, the products are usually linear thermoplastic materials. Here also this is regarding the products. The addition product will be the exact multiple of the monomeric units. And also the last point is that it will not be giving any byproducts. No byproducts will be there in addition polymerization. Okay, see here, the only an unsaturated monomer, the product is also, if 100 molecules are taken, 100 molecules will be polymerizing to give this polyethylene. So no byproducts are there in this addition polymerization. So these are the different characteristic features of this addition polymerization. Okay, so this first point, it is going through a chain reaction which is involving 3 stages or 3 steps: initiation, propagation and termination. Then it will be occurring in unsaturated monomers having 1 or more double bonds. Then the next one, it is happening in the presence of peroxides or catalyst. Then the products will be an exact multiple of the monomer units. Then the next point, it will be the products will be linear thermoplastic materials and no byproducts are there in the after the reaction. Okay, then next we can go through some of the examples for this addition polymerization. Examples for addition polymerization. See, one Google Meet is happening there, that is why so much laughing. Okay, sorry. So next is the example for this ethylene molecule. Sorry, examples for this addition reactions. So the first example, you have to write this ethylene, polymerization of ethylene molecule, CH2, double bond CH2, polymerizes to NCH2, single bond CH2, single bond. Okay, sorry, N times. Then the next one, next addition reaction, that is formation of Teflon. Formation of Teflon. Teflon, you might have heard. Teflon, it is present in the coating. Teflon is a coating present in the kitchen utensils, non-stick coating, isn't it? That is Teflon coating. So this Teflon, formation of Teflon from tetrafluoroethylene. From tetrafluoroethylene. Okay. So tetrafluoroethylene, that means ethylene means CH2 double bond CH2, isn't it? If these 4 hydrogen atoms, if they are replaced by 4 fluorine atoms, then it will be tetrafluoroethylene. The 4 hydrogen atoms, 2 from this carbon and 2 from this carbon, these 4 hydrogens, if they are replaced by 4 fluorine atoms, then it is tetrafluoroethylene. So we can write tetrafluoroethylene like this, CF2 double bond CF2. Okay, so N molecules, it will be polymerizing to again the similar reaction, CF2 single bond, then N times. Okay, so this is the formation of Teflon. So this is Teflon. It's highly carcinogenic also, so it is not advisable to use non-stick pans for cooking. Okay. So this is the structure of Teflon. Then the next one, the third reaction, formation of PVC. Formation of PVC from vinyl chloride. Formation of PVC from vinyl chloride. PVC means it is polyvinyl chloride. See, vinyl chloride, the structure it is like this, CH2, double bond CHCl, isn't it? So this is vinyl chloride. Vinyl chloride, CH2, double bond CHCl, n molecules of vinyl chloride. It will be polymerizing. Here you have to write polymerization. Polymerizes to give. So this bond breaks, double bond breaks, and this carbon will be having one free valency. This carbon will be having a free valency. So CH2, single bond CHCl, then the two valencies which are free n times. So this compound is PVC or polyvinyl chloride. Polyvinyl chloride PVC. Okay, polyvinyl chloride PVC. Then the next reaction, fourth reaction, that is formation of PMMA. PMMA, that is polymethyl methacrylate. Polymethyl methacrylate from methyl methacrylate. From methyl methacrylate. Polymethyl methacrylate from methyl methacrylate. So the structure of methyl methacrylate, it is like this: CH2 double bond C, single bond COOCH3, then CH3. This is methyl methacrylate. I am writing in short as MMA. You should not write like that. Methyl methacrylate. See, this is an ester, isn't it? Methyl methacrylate, derivative of acrylic acid. So this is methyl methacrylate, polymerizes to give. What happens? This double bond breaks, one valency here and one valency here. So it will be CH2, single bond C, then COO, CH3, then CH3, then single bond n times. Okay. So this is polymethyl methacrylate. Polymethyl methacrylate, PMMA. Okay, polymethyl methacrylate. So these are some of the examples for this addition polymerization. Okay, then the next one, that is the condensation polymerization or the step polymerization. So I am moving on to the next type, that is the condensation polymerization or step polymerization. Condensation polymerization or step polymerization. See here, this condensation polymerization, this will be taking place, the reaction will be taking place between two monomers having polar functional groups. Okay, those molecules with polar functional groups, this reaction will be happening. Okay, those molecules with polar functional groups, and also this is an intermolecular polymerization reaction. Intermolecular polymerization reaction. Okay, so polar functional groups means it will be having some plus and minus charges, isn't it? So this type of reaction will be taking place in polar functional groups, and it is an intermolecular polymerization reaction. And also one more point to be noted down is that here byproducts will be formed, byproducts will be present. Okay, byproducts will be there, but in the case of addition, no byproducts, but here byproducts will be present, and normally the byproducts will be H2O, HCl, etc. Okay, and also this condensation polymerization will be resulting in the formation of branched or cross-linked polymers. Branched or cross-linked polymers will be obtained as the product. Branched or cross-linked polymers will be obtained as the product, but in the case of addition polymerization, only linear polymers will be obtained, but here in condensation, branched or cross-linked polymers will be obtained. Okay, so this is some of the characteristic features of condensation or step polymerization. You have to note down these 4 points. Next, we can go through some of the examples for condensation or step polymerization. So the first example, that is the formation of polyesters. Formation of polyesters. Formation of polyesters. And also for this formation, the reaction will be taking place between ethylene glycol. The reaction will be taking place between ethylene glycol and terphthalic acid. Terphthalic acid, TERPHTHALLIC. The reaction will be taking place between ethylene glycol and terphthalic acid. Now you have to write the structures of ethylene glycol and terphthalic acid. Ethylene glycol means it is a diol, isn't it? Two OH groups are there. So the structure, it is like this: CH2OH, CH2OH, isn't it? This is ethylene glycol. Okay, ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol. So I am writing it in a straight chain manner. Okay, so the reaction we can do it clearly: CH2, CH2OH, CH2OH. Okay, this is ethylene glycol plus terphthalic acid. Terphthalic acid normally means it will be having two COOH group, and in terphthalic acid the COH group will be at the para positions. Okay, phthalic acid means it will be having two COH group in a benzene ring. So here also terphthalic acid means the COH group will be at the para positions, COOH. Okay, so this is terphthalic acid. Terphthalic acid, and this is ethylene glycol. Terphthalic acid and ethylene glycol. So here condensation takes place. Condensation means removal of water will be taking place. So hydrogen from this OH and OH from this acid group will be eliminated. You should not write it as OH from this and hydrogen from this COH. It is wrong. You have to eliminate water. That is like this: hydrogen from OH and OH from the COH group. So one molecule of water will be eliminated. So we will be having, so here also this OH group, this is a polar functional group, isn't it? OH and COH groups are polar. So what happens here also, this OH, from this OH one hydrogen will be eliminated between the other terphthalic acid. Here also from the COH group one OH will be eliminated with another ethylene glycol unit, isn't it? So we will be having O here, isn't it? H will be eliminated, O, then single bond CH2, then single bond CH2, then again O, then CO, then again C6H5, then again CO. Okay, so this will be repeating. Okay, so this is the this is terylene molecule. So here terphthalic acid will be combining with ethylene glycol, so terylene. Okay, terylene. This is terylene. Okay, so this is another important preparation. This will be asked usually. So ethylene glycol plus terphthalic acid on polymerization, we will be having terylene plus water. Okay, water will be eliminated. So this is the first reaction, formation of polyesters. Is it clear? Then the next one, that is the formation of nylon 6,6. Formation of nylon 6,6. Nylon 6,6. Okay, so you should not read it as 66, it should be 6,6. See here, nylon 6,6, it is formed by the condensation of adipic acid. Formed by the condensation of adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Formed by the condensation of adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Okay, see here you have to write the structure of adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. So first of all, I am writing the structure of this adipic acid. Adipic acid means CH2 4 times COOH, COOH. Okay, CH2 4 times COOH, COOH. This is adipic acid plus hexamethylene diamine. Hexamethylene, that means it will be having 6 CH2 groups. CH2 6 times. Then diamine, NH2. Here also NH2. Okay. So this is adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Hexamethylene diamine, you should write the name also. Hexamethylene means 6 CH2 groups, methylene groups, then diamine 2 NH2 groups. Okay. So here also condensation takes place, and condensation takes place from like this, that is OH from this adipic acid and 1 hydrogen from this amino group. Okay. So water will be eliminated. Here also at this position also OH will be eliminated with the another hexamethylene diamine molecule. Here also 1 hydrogen will be eliminated with another adipic acid molecule. Okay. So the product will be like this: CO, single bond, CH2 4 times, then CO, then again NH, isn't it? NH, 1 hydrogen is eliminated, so here NH, then CH2 6 times, then NH. Okay, so this is nylon 6,6. This compound is nylon 6,6. See why it is termed as 6,6 means, see here in the case of adipic acid it has got 6 carbon atoms, isn't it? CH2 4 times, so 4 carbon, 1 plus 1 5 plus 1 6, so 6 carbon atoms. And also in the case of hexamethylene diamine also it is having 6 carbon atoms. See, methylene 6 times, isn't it? CH2 6 times, hence it is called as nylon 6,6. This is also an important preparation. So usually it will be asked how nylon 6,6 is prepared. So you have to study this also for your university examination point of view. Okay. Here you can put it as n times. So this is about the condensation polymerization. Okay. Next you have to compare both this addition and condensation polymerization. So here one byproduct, that is water. Please don't forget to write the byproduct also. Hope you are clear up to this. Then we can go on to the next session, that is the comparison between addition and condensation polymerization. Comparison between addition and condensation polymerization. Addition and condensation polymerization. See, we have discussed all these points and you have to write it as points. Okay, in your examinations also it might be asked, so this is also very important. Comparison between addition and condensation polymerization. So the first one, for addition polymerization, it requires double bonds, isn't it? Double bonds or triple bonds should be there in the case of addition polymerization. I am writing just the points only. Then in the case of condensation polymerization, it should have 2 reactive functional groups, isn't it? 2 reactive sites or 2 reactive functional groups should be present in the monomer units, or should be present at the end of the monomer. Should be present at the end of the monomer. See, we have seen the condensation reaction, and also in both the cases, see, for adipic acid it has got a COH group at both the ends, and in the case of hexamethylene diamine it has got NH2 group at both the ends, isn't it? So it should have 2 reactive functional groups at the end of the monomer. Then second point is that this addition polymerization, no byproducts. Here byproducts are there. Byproducts will be forming. Then the third point, immediate polymerization is happening in the case of addition polymerization. Okay, polymer is formed at once. Polymer is formed immediately. Polymer is formed immediately. Then at this, here the polymer molecular mass will be increasing throughout the reaction. Okay, the polymer molecular mass will be increasing throughout the reaction. That means the reaction is not happening all of a sudden. It will be increasing gradually. That is why the molecular mass is increasing. Okay. Then the next point is that the product obtained here will be the exact multiple of the monomer units. Exact multiple of monomer units. Exact multiple of monomer units, and here not exact multiple of the monomer units, because some byproducts are there, isn't it? Not exact multiples. Then the products obtained will be thermoplastics. Usually thermoplastics will be the product formed. But here in the case of condensation, thermosetting plastics, you will be studying later what is thermosetting and thermoplastics. Okay, so just I am mentioning it here. In condensation, the thermosetting plastics will be obtained as the product. Then the next one. Growth of the chain at one active center. Growth of the chain at one active center. One active center means here the double bond is the active center, isn't it? But here in the case of condensation polymerization, growth of the chain occurs at a minimum of 2 active centers. Minimum of 2 active centers. Then the next one, the 7th one, the products will be a long chain linear structure, isn't it? Linear structure. What about the condensation polymerization? It will be a cross-linked structure. Cross-linked structure. Okay. Then you have to write the examples for condensation as well as addition polymerization. So for addition polymerization, polyethylene, that is PE, polyethylene. Then polyvinyl chloride. We have seen all these. Polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride. Then polymethyl methacrylate, PMMA. Then polystyrene, etc. are some of the examples for this addition polymerization. Polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polymethyl methacrylate, polystyrene. Okay. Then for condensation polymerization or the condensation polymerization products are examples are nylon, bakelite. Bakelite also we will be discussing later, the formation of this bakelite. Okay, so these are some of the examples for this condensation polymerization reaction. So you have to study this this differentiation between this addition as well as condensation polymerization. See here one more example you can write, terylene, isn't it? Terylene is also another example for condensation polymerization. Okay, hope you are clear up to this. Then one more topic to be covered before your internal examinations, that topic also I had included, that is regarding the mechanism of addition polymerization. Okay, so I think up to this it is 33 minutes. I think you can watch the video later and you have to be prepared for your examination. Okay, so I am continuing the video. Mechanism of addition polymerization. Mechanism of addition polymerization. This is very, very important. So normally this addition polymerization will be following 3 types of mechanisms. The first one is free radical polymerization mechanism, and the second one anionic mechanism, and the third one, that is the cationic mechanism. You might have studied all these, I think. So the first one today I will be discussing this free radical polymerization mechanism, free radical addition polymerization mechanism. So again, this is a chain reaction, isn't it? So chain reaction means it will be having 3 different steps, that is initiation, then propagation and termination. Okay, so let us go through one by one. So the first one, that is the initiation step. Initiation step. See here, initiation step means here 2 reactions will be happening. That means in the first stage free radicals will be formed. That is the first step. free radical formation, that is the first step in this initiation. Okay, so suppose here for free radical formation, normally a homolytic fission. Homolytic fission means the two electrons will be equally distributed between the two atoms, isn't it? Suppose a molecule, if it is undergoing fission by homolysis, what happens? The bond will be breaking like this, and these two atoms will be getting 2 electrons each, isn't it? 2a dot. So here I am writing, normally I am writing it as an initiator with the letter I. Okay, here I is the initiator. And what happens to this initiator? So I2 giving 2 I dot, not iodine, this is an initiator. Okay, so it will be splitting and it will be giving 2 I dots. Okay, so these I dots are free radicals. So this is the free radical formed in the first step, that is chain initiation. Okay, then the second step in this chain initiation, so the first step is free radical formation, and the second step coming under this category is the second step is that addition of the free radical to the monomer molecule. Addition of free radical to monomer molecule. Addition of free radical to monomer molecule. Okay, so this I dot that is formed in the first step, this I dot, it will be added up to the monomer molecule. So here the monomer molecule, it is ethylene. Okay, so what happens? This bond breaks and again this I will be attached. So here after while this bond gets broken, CH2 double bond CH2 means bond breaking, then CH2 single bond CH2 dot, isn't it? Like this it will be coming. Then again this I dot will be joining to one of this carbon atom. Okay, so what happens? It becomes I CH2, isn't it? I dot plus CH2 dot. So it becomes a bond. So I dot CH2 dot, I single bond CH2, single bond CH2 dot. Okay, so this is the chain initiator of this particular reaction. Chain initiator of this particular reaction. That means the free radical will be combining with the monomer molecule to form a chain initiator. So this particular species will be going on. Okay, as in the next step. Then the second step, that is the propagation step. Chain initiation, then the second one, that is the chain propagation. Chain propagation means here the growth of the polymer, isn't it? Growth of the polymer will be taking place by the successive addition of monomers. By successive addition of monomers. Growth of the polymer by the successive addition of monomer molecule. So here monomer means it will not be 1 or 2 monomers, it will be hundreds or thousands of monomers will be joined together to form a polymer. Okay, so in general we can write it as the reactive species M1 dot, one of the free radical, it will be combining with the monomer unit then to form M2 dash. Okay, M2 dot. So again this M2 dot will be combining with another monomer molecule to form M3 dot. Then this M3 dot will be combining with another monomer unit to form M4 dot. Okay, so this is the general propagation step. This is how the chain growth is happening. Okay, so here we have to write down this chain initiator. So again I am writing that particular reaction. So this is a general reaction. I CH2 single bond CH2 dot. Okay, this will be combining with n number of ethylene molecule CH2 double bond CH2. Okay, to form I CH2 single bond CH2 n times CH2 single bond CH2 dot. Okay, this CH2 dot will be present. So this CH2 double bond CH2, it will be combining with this monomer unit or this free radical to form a polymer molecule, and it will be a free radical. Okay, so this is the propagation step. So this free radical, it is the active site or the bonding site of that particular molecule. Okay, so this is how the chain propagates. Then the last step or the third step, that is the termination step of this reaction. Termination step of this particular reaction. Okay, so in this termination step means, see, if the reaction is going on continuously, it should end at some place, isn't it? So it should be combining with, it should be this termination will be happening by two mechanisms. Okay, it should be happening by either of these two mechanisms. The first one, it can be this termination can be done by coupling or by combination. Termination can be done by coupling or by combination. Two steps are involved. Any of these can be happening while doing this, while going on, while this termination. Okay, that means coupling or combination. Okay, so the first one, that is the coupling or combination. First one, by coupling or by combination. Sorry, this is the first method, by coupling or by combination. That is one process of termination. And the second one, by disproportionation. Disproportionation. By coupling or combination or by disproportionation. Okay, so let us see what is coupling or combination. By coupling or combination. By coupling or combination. See here, I'll be writing one compound. See, say for example, ICH2 single bond CH2 dot. Okay, I single bond CH2 single bond CH2 dot. Okay, so this will be combining with another molecule of this same monomer. Okay, that is I single bond CH2 single bond CH2 dot. So what happens here? These two free radicals will be combining and a bond will be formed between these two. Okay, so the product will be ICH2 single bond CH2 single bond CH2 single bond CH2 I. Okay, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So this is one way of coupling or combination. Okay, just the combination of the two free radicals. So this is one method. Then the second method, that is by disproportionation. Okay, by disproportionation. By disproportionation. Say for example, I am writing one free radical like this, CH2 single bond CH, sorry, CH Y, okay, Y, and here one free radical present, okay, plus another molecule R CH2 RCH2, then CH Y, okay, with another free radical. See, what happens is that here by disproportionation, the word itself means it is not in a symmetrical manner or it is not happening in a proportional manner, isn't it? So I am writing the CH2 as HH, okay, HH. Then what happens is that this hydrogen, this particular hydrogen, this will be moving to this particular carbon atom as H dot. Okay, so this hydrogen will be moving to this carbon as H dot. So what happens? It becomes RCH2 CH2Y, isn't it? RCH2, then this hydrogen will be joining, so it becomes CH2Y. Plus, so what happens here? This carbon, it has got one free radical left, isn't it? One bond means it will be having two electrons. So one electron will be moving along with hydrogen, or it will be hydrogen will be moving as H dot or H free radical. The remaining, this carbon will be having one free radical, isn't it? So this carbon, again, it will be having C dot. So this C dot and this C dot will be joining to form a double bond. Okay, so this carbon will be having a C dot dot or a free radical, these two will be combining to form a bond. So the product will be CHY, isn't it? CHY, then already a single bond, plus this two dots will be combining to form a double bond. CR, then H, isn't it? CRH. See here, the formed product will be one of which it is a saturated one, and the another one it is an unsaturated polymer, isn't it? One is a saturated one and the another one is an unsaturated one. So here two types of termination can be happening. That is, the first one by simple combination or simple coupling. Just the two radicals will be combining to form a straight chain, isn't it? That is, by this process, this termination of the reaction is done, or the reaction stopped at this point. Or it can be done by disproportionation. That means an uneven distribution of the products. One of the hydrogen will be moving as H dot to this carbon atom, and this C dot will be joining with this C dot to form a double bond. So a saturated compound and an unsaturated compound it is occurred. Okay, so this is one of which is a disproportionation reaction, and the another one that is a coupling reaction. Okay, and also at this point what happens, the reaction stops. That means that polymer we can call it as a dead polymer. So at this stage what we obtained as the product, that product we can call it as a dead polymer. Okay, dead polymer means it shows the cessation of the growth of the, it shows the cessation. Cessation means stopping, isn't it? Cessation of the growth of the propagating radical. Cessation of the growth of the radical. That means the radical obtained here, it is stopped at this stage, isn't it? At this after this reaction. So such type of polymers we can call it as a dead polymer. Further the reaction will not be happening. So that is a dead polymer, or that means it shows the cessation of the growth of the free radical. Okay. So up to this I had put questions for your examination, for your internal examination. So up to this portion you have to study thoroughly. Okay, don't skip any of these portions. So remaining, then cationic mechanism, then coordination, polymerization, etc. are there. So for the time being you just prepare for your internal examination. Okay, thank you.